I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequence.
No one expected the courtroom to fall silent like that. It was supposed to be just another heated custody hearing. Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert were going back and forth over visitation rights for their daughter, Junie. People were ready for the usual lawyers arguing, documents being passed around, the same back and forth about who's the better parent. But then the judge asked one simple question that changed everything. Who do you feel safest with? Nobody saw what happened next coming, not her mother, not the judge, and definitely not her father. With her little hands nervously resting on her lap and eyes filled with a quiet, heavy emotion, Junie leaned in and softly whispered a name. And it wasn't her mom or her dad. It was Aaron. The air was sucked out of the room. There was a visible gasp. Faces froze like a still photograph. It was as if time had paused. A courtroom full of adults suddenly felt powerless. Aaron, seated quietly in the back, looked shocked. Iman's lawyer leaned forward like she hadn't heard it right. Teyana didn't move. Her face didn't crack. She stayed completely still. But if you looked close enough, you could see something shift in her eyes, a quiet storm of pride, heartbreak, and disbelief all wrapped into one, because this wasn't just a little girl picking who she liked better. This was Junie choosing where she felt safe, where she felt peace. And that answer meant everything. To truly understand how it got to this point, we have to go back to when Teyana and Iman's marriage began to fall apart publicly. What started as love turned into mess. There were cheating rumors, leaked messages, online arguments, and public awkwardness. But through all of that, Teyana never once publicly bashed Iman. She stayed quiet. She protected her child. She kept her focus on Junie, wanting her daughter to grow up with both parents, even if the marriage didn't survive. But things didn't stay calm for long. A few months ago, Junie's name started trending online. A voice note had leaked allegedly from Junie herself. In it, a small voice could be heard telling her mom she didn't want to stay at her dad's house anymore. She said she felt scared sometimes. She said there was yelling. She said it didn't feel safe. The audio was chilling, heartbreaking. Fans were torn. Some believed it instantly. Others called it fake. But for Teyana, it didn't matter what anyone thought. Her daughter was hurting. That's all she needed to know. Instead of running to social media or doing interviews, she made quiet moves. She pulled Junie closer. She lowered Iman's visitation hours without a dramatic court order. She got Junie into therapy. She kept the noise out. And somewhere during that time, Aaron Pierre appeared. Aaron wasn't some flashy rebound. He wasn't some clout-chasing rapper or random guy from the club. He was quiet, kind, private, respectful. Fans only started noticing him when he appeared in the background of a clip from Junie's dance recital. Then later, holding Junie's jacket at a museum. Then again, walking beside Teyana at a local event while Junie held his hand tightly. The internet started whispering. Was Aaron stepping in as a father figure? Or was he just a friend? Whatever he was, one thing was clear: Junie trusted him. Sources close to the family say she started calling him AB. No one told her to. It was a name she made up herself. And it wasn't just about the name. It was the way he made her feel. Insiders say Aaron showed up for the little things. He was there at parent-teacher nights, showing support. He took late-night fever calls seriously. He was there for bedtime stories, calming fears, wiping tears. He didn't try to take anyone's place. He wasn't replacing her dad. He was simply present, and slowly, Junie began to heal. Meanwhile, Iman stayed on the sidelines. Every now and then, he would post an old photo with Junie, writing a nostalgic caption. But he never addressed the serious concerns. He never directly responded to the leaked voice note or the growing discomfort. Instead, he leaned into denial. In his mind, it was all noise. Teyana was just bitter. The accusations were made up. He thought she was trying to turn his daughter against him, but the silence around his actions said more than any public statement ever could. Things really escalated when Teyana officially requested full custody. She cited emotional instability and safety issues. Her legal team came prepared with dates, records, videos, journals, everything. Still, the judge didn't want to rush. The court needed to be absolutely sure. And so, the judge requested something rare. A private conversation with Junie. No lawyers, no parents. Just her, the judge, and the truth. What happened in that room was never supposed to leave it. But in today's world, secrets don't stay hidden. A court clerk speaking off the record leaked the moment to the media. They said the judge gently asked Junie a few questions. Where did she feel safest? Who did she want to be with? And Junie said one word, Aaron. She didn't hesitate. The internet lost its mind. Some people praised Junie for her courage. Others criticized Teyana, accusing her of letting another man get too close. But those closest to the situation knew better. This wasn't manipulation. This was a child choosing peace over pain, love over tension, calm over chaos. And Iman? As expected, he was furious. Sources say he stormed out of the courtroom. His pride had been shattered. In his eyes, this wasn't just about custody. It was about being replaced. But what he failed to realize was this: no one replaced him. He simply stopped showing up in the ways that mattered, and someone else quietly filled the space with care, patience, and love. In the end, Junie didn't make a choice to hurt anyone. She made a choice to protect herself, and sometimes, even in the courtroom, truth speaks in whispers. Iman claimed Junie had been coached. He said Aaron was manipulating the situation, that Teyana had poisoned his daughter against him. But the truth is, Junie's behavior had already changed long before that courtroom moment. Her teachers noticed. She was more relaxed, less anxious, and more open. Her drawings stopped being dark. She smiled more. She danced again. That kind of change doesn't come from manipulation, it comes from feeling safe. Through it all, Aaron kept his distance from the drama. When reporters asked questions, he said nothing. When social media started calling him the real dad, he ignored the noise. But one day after the courtroom bombshell, Aaron posted a photo. It showed Junie painting on a canvas, her wild curls bouncing, her face glowing with peace. The caption read, "Peace is her birthright, nothing more." That post said everything without needing to say too much. Teyana didn't say much either. She simply posted one sentence on her story: "I listen to my child, always." And the internet stood behind her. Celebrities dropped likes. Influencers reposted. The hashtag Junwhy chose peace flooded every timeline. And in those 3 words, the world heard the truth. Kids know, kids feel everything. And when they speak, you'd better listen. Still, the fight wasn't over. Iman filed a motion to appeal. He claimed parental alienation. He claimed Aaron was interfering, but the court wasn't convinced. They ordered a full evaluation not just of Iman, but of Junie too. And what the child psychologist found confirmed everything Teyana had been saying from the start. Junie was showing signs of anxiety. After visits with her father, she felt scared when he raised his voice. She didn't understand how to process his mood swings. She said she loved him, but she also said she felt nervous around him. And worst of all, she admitted she had nightmares after spending the night at his place. The psychologist's recommendation? A slow, gradual reintroduction under supervision. The final custody hearing. Things were brief. The judge granted Teyana full custody. Iman would be allowed supervised visits, with progress monitored through regular reports. Aaron, though he wasn't given any legal rights, was acknowledged by the judge. They called him a stable adult influence during a time of uncertainty. In legal terms, that was as close to a thank you as he'd ever get. When news of the ruling broke, Iman went live on Instagram. He looked tired, bitter, and defensive. "I ain't lose my daughter," he said, staring into the camera. "I'm still her dad. Don't get it twisted." But the comment section wasn't buying it. Most people had already made up their minds. In the face of a child's fear, silence is a choice, and Iman had made his. Meanwhile, Teyana and Aaron didn't gloat. They didn't post victory messages or give interviews. They just moved forward. They kept showing up. They kept building something quiet and steady. For Junie, this wasn't about drama or sides. It was about safety, about being heard, about her voice mattering in a room full of adults who usually talked over her. Still, the internet didn't let it go. The timelines buzzed with opinions, debates, and dreamy ideas. Some people believed it was the start of a real love story, that Aaron wasn't just a father figure but maybe the man who would one day legally become Junie's dad. People speculated about wedding bells, about a fresh start for Teyana, But Teyana didn't fuel the fantasy. She never fed the gossip. Instead, she posted a simple video. Juna sitting at a piano, tiny fingers stumbling over keys, while Teyana laughed in the background. The caption was sharp and honest. This is her real life, not headlines. No drama, no hints, just truth. Even without a formal announcement, it became clear Aaron wasn't a temporary fixture. He wasn't passing through. He was rooted now, a part of their daily life. And Junie, she didn't make her decision under pressure. She wasn't coached. She wasn't manipulated. She chose from something honest and pure. In a courtroom full of adults tugging at opposite ends of her heart, Aaron was the one who stepped back and let her breathe. He didn't demand her love. He didn't force her to choose. He never treated her like property being pulled between parents. With him, Juna didn't feel stuck in the middle. She felt held, supported, safe. And look, there's no perfect fairy tale here. Co-parenting still comes with its hard chapters. Court orders shift, emotions rise and fall without warning. But for now, in this still moment, Junie's world is quiet. Her laughter fills the hallway again. Her nights aren't restless. Her home feels like home. And that sense of peace, that steady rhythm, that's the real victory. That's what Teyana fought for. Not through shouting or scandals, but through presence, through patience, through her unwavering trust in her daughter's voice. She never trashed Iman in public. She never used Junie as a pawn. She didn't turn her pain into content. She simply paid attention. She protected. And when it mattered most, she believed her child. Not because it was convenient, but because it was right. Because real love, especially a mother's love, has nothing to do with DNA or last names. It shows up in actions, in consistency, in quiet protection. It's in the way someone keeps coming back, keeps showing up, without needing applause. And for Juna, that someone was Aaron. Not because he claimed the title, but because he earned it. Through every small moment, every hard question, every time, he stood quietly in the background, ready when she needed him. So if this courtroom drama revealed anything, it's this. Children always know who's real. They might not understand every argument, but they feel everything. They feel who listens, who protects them, who calms the chaos without asking for credit. And in a world full of loud voices, TikToks, arguments, and headlines, sometimes the softest voice speaks the greatest truth. And Juna, she said it in a whisper that somehow thundered louder than every trending topic. I feel safe with Aaron. And really, what matters more than that?